Sam Darley here with the Sam Darley Show, and tonight I'm going to talk to you about the Houston Texans and their 34-16 divisional round loss to the New England Patriots. They had their chances. They forced 3+ turnovers tonight. They got after Brady. They got pressure on him. They forced him into some un-Brady-like mistakes, and the Texan defense was elite as usual, but due to the incompetent offense, the Texans did not capitalize. They failed numerous times to really take control of the game. In the end, coming away losing 34-16, they are done. Now the question mark still stands, what do you do at quarterback? And for the Texans, it's not just the quarterback play. It's the defense, excuse me. It's the defense. The defense just needs some help in the secondary. The linebacker core needs some help. Where the Texans go, the Texans need to make another offseason makeover with their offense. Starting up front with the offensive line. They had one of the worst rated offensive lines in pro football. But that didn't stop Brock Osweiler from having a Brock Osweiler-like game, where he had 3 turnovers in the second half. Yeah, I said before the game, leading up to the game, he had to have a clean game for the Texans to have a chance. And he didn't. So, it is what it is. Bill O'Brien already shut down the rumors of leaving. He's going to be the head coach of the Texans. I think for the Texans organization, they're going to have to give him some power. By that I mean some GM power. Take away some of Rick Smith's power as GM. He's shown he's not a good GM. He's built a really nice defense. But the two biggest most pressing needs for this Texans team is... And he continues to ignore is the quarterback and the offensive line, and he continuously ignores them, and it just keeps biting them in the butt. They keep losing to the Patriots. Titles cannot be. The division titles cannot be we're doing well. You have to build like the Patriots, where it's not about what you do it's not about winning your division. It's about winning the Super Bowl. And if you don't win the Super Bowl, it's what you did wrong, and you got to correct that. And the Texans tonight, against the elite Tom Brady and the great Belichick in their house. But again, they put up a great fight defensively, but offensively, they weren't solid enough. They weren't efficient enough, and in the end, the Patriots came away with the victory. Special teams is still a disaster. I think it's got more to do with personnel than it does the coach. They've changed coaches 3 times at that spot. At some point, you got to put the right people in that spot. And so I think the Texans, going forward, they got a lot to do. They got a lot of work. They got a lot of work ahead of them. But they're on the right track. Their defense is great. I think they should think about doing what the Denver Broncos did with their offense. Back in 2012, that's when they made the gamble to go get Peyton Manning. I think the Texans need to make a big gamble this offseason. And if Tony Romo's released, they need to go get Tony Romo. If Tony Romo's not available, then they look at possibly Drew Brees if the Saints decide to move on from Drew. If the Chargers decide to move on from Rivers, because Rivers, I hear, doesn't want to play in LA, there's another quarterback option. But no matter the quarterback, they got to fix the offensive line. 34-16, Texans lose to the Patriots in the divisional round. A lot of work ahead of them. Bill O'Brien will be the head coach of the Texans. But to me, to take that next step forward, they gotta continue to make this offense, and find a way to make this offense good. Just good. That's all they need. Really all they need. They need a Chief-type offense, but they just take care of the ball, put points on the board. They're good in the red zone. They're good in special teams. Nothing major, but a huge upgrade of what they had this season. They're going to have some continuity, I think, with next year Braxton Miller will be healthy. I think he should take the number 2 receiver spot. Fuller dropped the key touchdown pass that could have changed the entire momentum of the game. But, it is what it is, and the Texans, the Texans, they need playmakers. They got Lamar Miller, they got DeAndre Hopkins, they got Will Fuller, who's really all speed and no hands. So, again, they got quite a bit of work to do. But the Houston Texans are 0-3 all-time in the divisional round until they win a divisional round game. Nobody's going to take them seriously until they beat the Patriots, the Steelers, the elite class of the NFL. They'll win the South. I think they're going to be the AFC South front runner for the next 5 or 6 years. I know Tennessee's looking pretty good. They're looking pretty dangerous. But that defense of Houston's alone makes them at least a playoff team. But to really take the next step and be a contender, they need to fix their offense, starting up front with the offensive line, and I think they need a quarterback. I think Brock Osweiler's got too much mechanically to work on before he can be considered a franchise quarterback. And if the Texans can get some of that money back on his contract, that would be great, though I highly doubt it. But we'll see what happens. It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Texans. It was disappointing for Texans fans. I know most people thought this would be a washout. The Texans would get destroyed. The Patriots do what the Patriots do. They take over. You can't kick field goals. You can't make mental mistakes. You got to take advantage of their mistakes, and that's what the Texans did not do. This game, to sum it up, was missed opportunities. And, it is what it is. So, they're 0-3 in the divisional round. They'll get working on the offseason. The Patriots will advance to the AFC Championship game, but they'll await the winner of tomorrow's Pittsburgh and Kansas City Chiefs game. I think the Steelers are going to win that game. And it's going to be an interesting offseason for the Texans. This has been Sam Dolly with the Sam Dolly Sports Talk Show. Thanks for listening.